Spectacular moment. Thousands of tons of fish. Today, we explore the process of catching and processing tons of tuna, mackerel, and snapper, from vast fishing grounds to modern factories. Each fish has a fascinating and surprising journey. Red snapper is a popular choice in high-end restaurants, often costing up to $12 a pound. As a result, red snapper is one of the most valuable fish in many countries, especially in the United States and Mexico. The market for red snapper is growing strongly, creating high demand in the food and high-end restaurant industries. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, the monthly catch of red snapper is estimated at 2.5 million tons. Notable assessment areas include the Gulf of Mexico, from Texas to Florida. Fishermen here have developed effective fishing techniques to maintain and protect this seafood resource. In addition, fishermen in the Gulf of Mexico often use large fishing vessels with full modern equipment. These vessels are designed to travel far from shore and operate for many consecutive days at sea. Fishing continues until the ship's hold is full of snapper. After being netted, the fish are pulled onto the ship using a modern crane and conveyor system. To ensure the quality of the snapper, it is stored immediately in cold storage at a temperature ranging from 0 to 2°C. Oh my gosh! A huge haul of snapper in the net. Yes. That's why Midwater Haulback is an expert in each of these big boats. The fishermen can catch thousands of tons of snapper in just one day. Snapper fishing also requires patience and time-consuming net pulling. And it may not be possible to catch anything, so fishermen must accurately determine the location of the snapper school. Because they often live in deep seabeds, fishing by dragging bait becomes difficult and requires great strength. The catch from fishing is also considerable. Fishermen think that catching snapper is easy, but consistently catching big fish often depends on the type of rod placement and quality bait. With snapper you will see a wide range of sizes. However, you will see smaller fish mixed in with larger fish. Snapper come in a wide range of sizes, from small 1-4 lb fish in shallow water, 50-90 feet, to large 5-10 lb fish, even up to 20-30 lb in deeper water. To keep the fish fresh, they are put into freezers on each large boat. Fishermen use many methods to preserve fresh snapper, aiming to ensure the quality and value of the product. After being put into the cold storage, it will be preserved at a temperature of 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. Unbelievable! This is a batch of 9 tons of snapper caught, all of which are packaged and brought down to the cellar. As soon as the fish arrive at the processing plant, they are inspected for quality and graded by size and weight. This initial inspection is crucial in determining the fate of the fish, whether it will be sold as whole fillets or processed into other products such as fish balls or canned. The first step in the red snapper processing process requires great skill and meticulous attention to detail. The fish are placed on a conveyor belt and passed through an automatic filling machine to remove the bones, skin and viscera. The fillets are then thoroughly cleaned to completely remove scales, blood and impurities. This filling process is crucial, determining the final quality of the product. The machines are designed to minimize waste and maximize productivity. Once cleaned, the fish fillets are cut into various portions depending on the product requirements. Some may be kept as whole fillets, while others may be cut into smaller pieces or thin strips. The fish portions are then weighed and packaged according to the customer's specifications. The packaging process is designed to prevent contamination and spoilage, ensuring the product remains fresh. The red snapper products are sealed in airtight containers or wrapped in plastic film to maintain maximum freshness before distribution to the market. In addition to enjoying it, fresh snapper is also a great choice for whole fried fish. Or the main ingredient in fish tacos. Its sweet flavor pairs well with almost any spice you could ever find. Tuna is one of the most valuable fish species in the international market, especially in the sushi and sashimi industry. Japan, the largest tuna consumer, accounts for more than 60% of the global tuna production, with an annual output of about 7 million tons. The main tuna fishing areas include the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. The countries with the most developed tuna fishing industries include Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and the United States. Fishermen here use advanced fishing techniques to maintain high yields and protect marine resources. First, the fishing boat must find a good fishing ground. Fishermen determine the location based on the wind direction and currents. The net is usually placed diagonally across the water. A small boat starts the net from the main boat, with at least one person responsible for the upper part of the net, while another person is responsible for the middle and lower parts. The head of the net is then attached to the boat and the fishermen raise the net together. Additionally, many boats catch tuna by adjusting the crane. These boats are called trawlers. The fishermen created a survival game in the middle of the sea, finding the location of the tuna and setting a giant trap. The tuna did not know that they were swimming into the fishing net. When the fishermen pulled up the net, it was too late for the tuna. All of them would be taken aboard. The tuna are hauled onto the boat using a system of cranes and conveyor belts to ensure quality. They are then stored in cold storage to maintain freshness. Fishermen often have to go out to sea for weeks to find schools of tuna, as they move very quickly and can swim far. Casting and pulling in the nets becomes very difficult in harsh conditions, and fishermen have to keep the tuna at very low temperatures to maintain quality. In addition to nets, fishermen also use fishing rods and lines to catch tuna. Small baits are thrown over the side of the boat to lure the tuna to the surface. Fishermen use the acceleration of the tuna as they hunt to pull them up and throw them onto the floor of the boat. This is a selective and sustainable fishing method, catching only the big fish and letting the small fish continue to grow. Once the ship reaches shore, the tuna is transported to large distribution facilities. Trucks loaded with tuna are brought from the port to the factory and lifted by forklifts onto the factory conveyor belt to transport the tuna to the factory. There, they are sorted, packaged, and transported to the processing plant. The factory warehouse is typically below 18 degrees Celsius. After being brought into the processing plant, the tuna undergoes a process where workers separate the tail and head of the tuna using a cutter. The tuna is then cut along the backbone and divided into 4 parts. The backbone is removed. Next, workers separate the belly and skin the fish by hand or using robots. Once the fish is cleaned, a shaping machine fixes the shape of the fish meat. The tuna meat is then placed on trays according to size and weight and packed into individual bags. Yes. These containers are then sealed and ready for distribution to the market. Mackerel is a popular fish due to its high nutritional value and unique flavor. The mackerel consumption market is mainly concentrated in Asia and Europe, with Japan and Korea being the leading consuming countries. At the same time, Japan and Korea are also the two countries with the most developed mackerel fishing industry. They use traditional techniques combined with modern technology to maintain stable production. Fishermen often use large fishing boats equipped with GPS devices to identify schools of mackerel before catching. Each boat is also equipped with ice to preserve the freshness of the fish until they reach shore. The mackerel fishing season lasts from October to March of the following year, when water temperatures rise and mackerel migrate to the West Sea, helping fishermen achieve the highest yield. In 2023, Korean fishermen caught about 151,000 tons of mackerel. The mackerel is pulled onto the ship using a crane and conveyor system. It is then pre-treated and stored in cold water to maintain freshness. The netting and processing of the fish must be done quickly to ensure that the fish are not damaged. Environmental conditions to maintain quality when brought to the processing facility. The annual global production of mackerel is about 4 million tons, with major fishing areas including the Atlantic and North Pacific. When the mackerel is transported to the factory, workers begin to separate the belly and remove the intestines. The intestines are cut in the middle of the spine. After careful trimming, the mackerel is washed in a tank of seawater to remove blood and unwanted residue. This ensures a much higher level of cleanliness than using regular freshwater, while still maintaining freshness. The mackerel is then drained for 20 minutes, and workers sprinkle 2 to 5 grams of salt evenly over the surface of the fish, preparing it for the next processing steps. Packed into small packages. Each foam box containing the mackerel is then transported to consumers.